Hey everyone, welcome back into Farming Simulator. This is episode 6 in Zelonka. We're still in March, and if you remember last episode, I ended it with doing a contract spreading fertilizer. Well, I ended up wasting a whole bunch of fertilizer because ever since patch 1.3 came out, that fertilizer spreader does not hit the edge of the field for some reason. It leaves 2 meters on the outside uncovered. I had that problem last spring. I'm having that problem this spring. So I went ahead and sold it. And I'm just going to run liquid fertilizer from now on. So I'll be doing liquid fertilizer and herbicide with this sprayer. So we're definitely going to wear it out fast. And I also went ahead and got the planter sold and leased a Oliver water hauled. And I've got a full tipper load of soybeans here. And we'll go ahead and check prices. That is the best price, but that's putting it on the train, and that's our farthest distance to drive. The grain mill is actually the closest. Only $26 difference. Get it fired up, and we'll get running. And it always helps if you actually lift the sprayer up. Well, at least we're starting the episode out right. We are getting all the way to the edge of the field. Thank gosh, because that was terrible. I wasted probably 400 liters of seed or of fertilizer on that contracted field just because it wouldn't hit the outside and I couldn't get the contract completed without it. So yeah, I'm done using that fertilizer spreader. We're just going to do liquid everything from now on. I also went ahead and stocked up on 4 totes each of liquid fertilizer and herbicide. So we're sitting pretty good there. I put 2 pallets of seed into the seeder, and I'm hoping that's going to be enough to get us through this field. I also have, I think, 200 liters of seed that I pulled out of the planter before I sold it. But if that's not enough, not a huge deal. We are sitting at $55,000 still, and I have not looked into that spinach harvester yet to see what that leasing cost is going to be, but we should be covered, especially with what we're making off of our greenhouses. So I'll go ahead, get this knocked out quick, and I'll catch up with you guys when I'm done. All right, we're loading up with our second load of liquid fertilizer here. We did not quite get 2 passes done around the outside of the field, and that is our next issue we're running into. Since the Challenger does not offer a 3-point in the front, I can't run the saddle tank to get more liters out of it, and that's going to become an issue. So as great as this Challenger has been, we're definitely nearing the end of its life cycle for being useful on this farm. We're definitely going to have to upgrade tractors before next spring. And I'm really, really hoping that this planting spinach pays off in a huge, huge way because I definitely need it. All right, we're finishing up this last pass with the first pass of fertilizer. And I've been thinking as I've been running this field, I'm a bit nervous about trying spinach on a field this big. Up until now, I haven't seen anybody try and run spinach on a field this big, just simply because of how slow the harvester is and how long it's going to take. I'm guessing it's going to take 2, maybe 3 hours real time to get this field completely harvested, and that's a long time. But the income potential off of a field this big, because spinach is so high paying, does leave me with the chance, I believe, to grow very quickly, not only in how much land we have, but also the equipment that we're using. Like getting rid of this Challenger, getting a different combine, something that's going to be a lot bigger. If I have my choice, it's going to be the big case combine, the biggest one they have with the biggest header, get the most done the quickest. But we're going to have to see. Like I said, spinach will give us 2 harvests, so we'll get essentially double the income off of that field. So the potential is very exciting. However, the amount of time it's going to take makes me nervous that it may not actually be worth it. But that being said, we're switching over to the cultivator. We're going to get this cultivating done here, and then we have our seeding to get done. So we have a lot to get done and not a lot of time to do it. So with that said, we'll hit it hard and see how things come out. Okay, so I've been cultivating away here, getting these end rows done, and I didn't like the way it was setting it up. So let's go into the menu here. So steering assist. When you first pull this up, comes up on the AI, you can go over to the steering assist where that's you running it, which is where I'm at. And if you look down at work direction, so far it's always come up automatic. I haven't paid any attention to it really because it's always kind of made sense with which direction it's making the field run. However, if we go back to automatic, you'll see it changed it to running at an angle, which ultimately would have created a whole bunch of short rows and a whole lot of turning around, and I just didn't like that idea. So I went up, I came down here, switched it to 90 degrees, and that is straight back and forth, running east and west on this field. So the only short rows are on the little L-shaped part of the field. Not very many passes, but the majority of the passes will be nice, long, easy rows. So that's where I set it. And I did have to disconnect from the implement and then reconnect in order to get it to work. But now we will be running straight back and forth, east and west, which I'm a far bigger fan of doing as opposed to doing those angles where really the only long row you have is your first angle from corner to corner. And then after that, every pass gets shorter and shorter. And pretty soon, all you're doing is turning around and you're not actually getting much field work done. So I'm probably the last person to find this out, but just in case anybody watching doesn't know that, that is your helpful hint of the day. So with that said, we'll go ahead, finish getting this cultivated, and then work on getting seeding done. All right, we're finishing up our last pass here, getting this spinach planted. So when we get this done, we will go ahead and get this seeder emptied out, get it returned, and then hook up to the sprayer, get the fertilizer out of the sprayer, and then I need to get the herbicide sprayed. Now, if you guys remember from last spring, if you spray the herbicide like it's a pre-emergence, then you never get weeds in your field. You only have to do the one pass. You don't have to worry about what tires you have on ruining the crop. You just spray it once with the herbicide and you're done. So I'll get this, see if I can get this wedged up here kind of close, and we will go ahead and try and get the seed emptied out here. Maybe. All right, or not. For some reason, it's not letting me unload the seed here. So I do believe I bought the liftable pallets. So I should be able to unload them over here and just carry them. Um, I don't know what's going on. I don't. Well, this is frustrating. I'm gonna see if I can get this figured out. Hold on. All right, I figured it out. You have to fold up to unload this seeder. So we are done with it. So I'll go down here and we will get this returned since we leased it. And we'll go over here, grab my sprayer, get the fertilizer out of it because we already fertilized for this month. So we will have to fertilize again one more time for this first cutting. Now, soybeans, spinach has two harvests, so we will have to fertilize after one more or after the first cut. So I'll get this put over here. Not put in the shed. That put there, and we'll go ahead and get this filled up. Oh, that was not a full one. All right, now we'll go ahead and get it filled up here. So I'll go ahead and put this tank a little closer back to the shed here. That'll work. Good enough. And we'll go ahead and get this field sprayed. And I think after we get this field sprayed, I'm seriously considering selling off everything. I think it'll be a huge risk, but I've got a plan. I don't know if it's going to work out. It may be crazy. We're going to have to see, but I do have a plan. So you guys will have to stick around to see it. So we'll get this set to 90 degrees. That is perfect. And that'll help me know or keep a better track of where I've been so I don't have any skips. But we'll go ahead, get this fired up, get our GPS going, and get this field sprayed. And I'll see you guys when we get it done. All right, we're finishing up our last little bit here. And this field will be done with the herbicide. I probably got a couple of spots that I missed, but all in all, should be all right. However, this has been a giant pain in the butt. I haven't, with this Challenger, you can't put the saddle tank on the front. So I've had to fill up multiple times because I can't get the field done in one go. So that's a big part of why I want to go ahead and start selling off equipment. I want to get this tractor sold off. I want to get the combine sold off, probably sell off the tipper. And we'll see about upgrading the sprayer. But for now, that's not on the list. But it very well could be. But we will do all of that next month. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into April here. I think we've got about everything we can get done in March is done. So I will see you guys in April. All right, it is bright and sunny this morning here in April. Looks like we do have some rain showers coming in later. We'll take a look at that. Looks like from 10 a.m. to noon it's going to be raining. But our field looks very good. You can see we do need to spray some fertilizer down, but that won't take very long. We'll take a look at contracts while we're here, and there's a stone picking contract. That's pretty good payout. I will go ahead and borrow those items. Since it is only $600, we'll go ahead and borrow that. And I will just stick a worker on that one. So we'll go ahead and get this fired up, get it to the field, and let the worker have at it. Okay, as you can see here, we have the worker fired up. So he's going to go ahead and take care of this. And I'll jump back to my Challenger. We'll hook back up to the sprayer here. And we need to get this little bit of herbicide off here, and then we will get the fertilizer put in. We'll drop that. We'll pull ahead and start filling up with fertilizer. And this will be another instance where I will have to fill up multiple times. So we'll go ahead, get this going, and I will catch up with you guys when I get this load of fertilizer sprayed off, and we will also check in with our worker to see how he's coming on the rock picking. All right, welcome into June, everyone. We have water that we need to haul, soybeans we need to get sold off, and spinach that needs to be harvested and sold off because there's no storage yet available for the spinach. So, first thing we're going to do, go ahead and start hauling water, get that out of the way right away. And then we're going to go ahead and sell those soybeans off, and we will be ready for the spinach harvest for our first cut. All right, I'm guessing this is going to take a few trips here, so we'll get these hammered out real quick, and I will see you guys when we get it done. All right, we got all of our water hauled, and I've got a full tipper load of soybeans here, and we will go ahead and check prices. It's looking like Erlen Grant is the best price, but that's putting it on the train, and that's our farthest distance to drive. So the grain mill is actually the closest, and it's only $26 difference. We're going to go to the grain mill. Well, we'll pull in here, get this dumped, see how much it's worth. All right, 69,000. That's pretty good payday. I'm happy with that. So we'll go up, get that last 3,000, 3,200, something like that bushel. I said it again. Liter. Liters. It's so hard for me to say liters. I'm so used to saying bushels. But we will go ahead and get that last little bit of soybeans, get that sold off as well here. Well, on the return trip, I noticed there is a big old bird's nest on the top of this power line. I don't know how long it's been there. This is the first time I've ever seen it. And I don't remember anything like that in FS22. But that's pretty nifty little detail that I'm just now picking up. You guys will have to let me know down in the comments if you have seen that in any of the prior episodes, because I most certainly have not. But I thought that was a nice, interesting little detail there. So it ended up being 2,700, almost 2,800 bushels. So we'll go ahead and get this dumped off, get the last little bit of money for the soybeans, and we will be ready to start harvesting our spinach. So I got almost $10,000 for that. I'm pretty happy. We're at 247,000. So hopefully after this spinach harvest, we can upgrade to a nice big tractor. That way we can start pulling big implements and really expand how much crop ground we're actually running. Okay, we're back here at the home place, so we will go ahead and lease our spinach harvester. Make sure we get that license plate off there. And it's going to cost $32,385 to lease. That is a chunk of change. But we'll go ahead, get this thing picked up, and get started. I'm going to run all the end rows myself, and then then I'll hire a worker to run everything else, and I'll just haul the spinach back and forth to the sell point. And I don't think I'm going to be able to start this the way that I normally have been. So we'll get it lined up here and get our GPS rolling. I don't even know how many end rows this is going to want me to run. This should be interesting. So it looks like 5. And I'm betting that's not enough, so What? There we go. We'll go 6. All right. Let's get this going. Get the harvester fired up. Get it dropped down. And we'll see how fast we can get these soybeans harvested. These soybeans. See how fast we can get this spinach harvested. If you guys can't tell, I'm getting a little tired. All right, working on our first pass around this field, and I've noticed it is definitely a lot easier to see where you're at up front if you're in the cab. But I also realized that trying to get turned, the back end will swing out a lot harder than you think, and I definitely destroyed some of my crop doing that. So trying to get these corners fit in here, I think it's going to be a bit of a challenge. I'm going to have to bounce back and forth between in-cab and out-of-cab view. But I do know I've done spinach once, and trying to get the worker to do the end rows was a nightmare. So that's why I'm going to go ahead and run all the end rows, try and run a couple extra passes even, give the worker plenty of space to get turned around. But I do believe this thing holds like 35,000 liters, and my tipper only holds 19.6. So my tipper's definitely not going to be the greatest for this. However, this machine's not very fast, and it only runs at 3.5 meters wide, so I should have plenty of time to make the trips back and forth to the sell point, but it's going to be a lot of trips. But with that being said, I will keep going here and meet up with you guys when I get the first tipper load. All right, we've made it 2 passes around the field, and our harvester is full. So we won't be able to empty out the whole thing here, but we will be able to get this tipper loaded. Just barely long enough to extend across all of that. So I will go ahead and get this parked off to the side for now. And I'm going to go ahead and harvest some more spinach, get that machine full again. And then we'll go ahead and take that to the market. So as you can tell, I had to turn my help window on. I had no idea how to unload this thing. So we'll go ahead and get that shut back off here. There we go. So we're going to get a ridiculous yield off of this field. So I'm definitely very happy with the yield we've gotten so far. I do believe this is going to pay out very, very well here. It's just going to be extremely time consuming. So it took, I think, right about 14 minutes there to get the 2 passes around the field done with this machine, and we have a lot of ground to cover yet. And I'm running real time, so I believe we started at 8:22. So yeah, this is definitely going to take a very, very long time. I'm guessing a couple hours. But yeah, I'll check in with you guys here in a little bit. All right, we're coming up on getting this thing full. I don't think we're quite going to get it this pass, but it was pretty close. So I'll see if I can't get this little bit here that I've been missing. Go ahead and run this all the way down to the end here. I know I'm only picking up like 1 row, but we'll go ahead and get this picked up and I need to be going the other direction for the way this machine unloads anyway. So we'll get this machine turned around, set up and ready to run the other direction. And I'm going to jump back in my Challenger here. Get that delivered because this is ready to be unloaded. Hopefully I got enough room there between the pole and the machine. We'll find out. But we'll go ahead and take this load of spinach. Where are we taking it? Looks like the Preserved Food Factory. I have no idea where that is, so we're going to go ahead and tag it. And it is behind us. All right, that doesn't look too bad. Nice and easy to get to. So we'll go ahead and get turned around here and head down there and see what our first tipper load is worth. Sneak around, drive through the creek, because why not? It's a Challenger. It can handle anything. And yeah, you can see we finished 3 passes on our headlands. We have a lot of spinach left, so we have a lot of work ahead. All right, we're here at the Preserved Food Factory, so we'll go ahead and get this unloaded, see what kind of cash we can make. All right, $13,000 for 1 tipper load. All right, we have 227,000, so I'm going to take a look. Gotta go all the way back up here, find our trailers. So 35,000 to buy the crampy. That'd be more than that yet, because we had to have to upgrade it. But the Lizard TARDIS, which can be go up to 200,000 liters, is only 30 grand. Yep. Yep. We're going to go ahead and buy that. We're going to go with the super capacity because it does begin to lower the price the more and more you put in. So I think if we can just unload once, that would be our best option. And it might even be more than once with how much we're getting off this field. So I'm going to go ahead and purchase this. And I will sell off this tipper when we get back to the shop. And that way I can just keep running the spinach, see if I can get that other tipper full, and just get a really high price for a whole bunch of it at once instead of slowly dwindling our sale price down to about nothing. Okay, we got 19,000 of the 35,000 this thing cost back out of our old tipper, so that's a pretty good deal. And normally I don't like to run super unrealistic like this. However, this is one of those instances that it makes perfect sense, and I'm definitely going to do it just because this is taking forever. So the more I can get done in one haul, the better. So we'll get this first load off the machine and get this parked off to the side and get back to harvesting our headlands some more. And I don't see a whole lot of people doing spinach right now. And I think this is why. It's so time consuming and makes it so difficult that for a lot of people it's just not going to be worth it. So the sooner they can get some modified versions that have a wider swath, I think spinach will be a pretty popular crop. But until then, I don't think too many people are going to even bother with it. And unfortunately, it's going to be the same with the beans, the peas. Anything that's using one of these specialty harvesters just isn't going to be what the people want to use. But we'll go ahead and get this knocked out, and I'll check in with you guys in a little bit. Okay, I'm finishing up my last pass here on the 5th headland, and we're going to be close enough to full. Just go ahead and run it up there, dump it into that tipper, and we have one more pass around the field to go, and I will be hiring a worker to finish out the rest of this harvest for me. So we'll get this thing unloaded and get that last pass done. And while I was harvesting, I did go ahead and check the crop price. Oh. And it already did drop a bit. So this is definitely the right decision. Go ahead and do a bulk dump. Try and get as much as we can at the highest price. That way we're not dwindling it down to absolutely nothing by the end of this field. All right. So we're empty. We'll get this one last pass ran out here. And like I said, we'll get that worker hired. And we've already been going almost an hour to do 5 passes around this field. So spinach is definitely an extremely slow venture. But we'll see how much it pays out at the end of the harvest here. And keep in mind, we do get 2 cuttings of spinach a season, so I'm sure that second one won't be worth quite as much as the first. Probably won't get as much of a yield. But we can essentially double what we get off of this first go around here. And I'm pretty excited about that. So, like I said, we'll get this done and see where things end up. All the headlands done here. So now I'm going to go ahead and get down on this end and get a worker fired up to finish harvesting the rest of this field for me. So we'll turn the headlands off. And hopefully he starts down at this end and not somewhere else on the field, because they do like to do that randomly. And he's going to go in a circle. Well, this should be interesting. Let's see where he ends up. I had him pretty well lined up with the end of the field. Would have been great to work north, but I don't know what's going to happen now. Uh, All right, well, I'm going to check in and see what happens with the rest of this harvest. We'll see where he ends up. All right, I'll catch up to you guys in a bit. All right, checking in here. We're an hour and 20 minutes into it. And if I go into construction mode here, that's what we've harvested in an hour and 20 minutes. This spinach is not working out the way I had hoped. After doing some quick math, I just don't think it's going to pay out as much as I really had hoped it would. Saw a chart that somebody did showing, spinach was a big payday, and it's because you can do it twice. However, the amount of time that's being put into this, I think we're going to go ahead and punt and start over. This is going to be relentless here. And if we jump out of the tractor, you can see where we've harvested. There's weeds growing. It's 0% fertilized. So I thought it would go down to 50%. It's at 0. So that's 3 more passes through the field with the sprayer to get this fully fertilized and kill the weeds with the herbicide. That's a lot more field work than I anticipated. So, like I said, we're going to punt and I'm going to switch and plant grass because if we do grass here in June, we should be able to get 2 cuttings out of that grass this year. And getting 2 more cuttings, and if we bale it and wrap it and turn it into silage, we're going to get a lot more yield out of the silage. So I think that's what we're going to do because right now we are definitely bleeding cash with how long this is taking to get harvested, and it's just not really working out the way I had hoped it would. So I think the harvester has somewhere around 25,000 liters on it. So we'll go ahead and pull up here. Oh, yep, his hazard or his flashers are on, so he's got to be close. And I lost my train of thought. Anyway, uh, we'll go ahead get this finished out. It's going to be another hour or more, so we're going to have 2.5, 3 hours possibly into this harvest, and that's real time. So that's a lot of time to harvest, especially something like this that's just, like I said, it's not going to pay out as much as I had really hoped. All right, pulling up here to top off the last of this tipper here. And we will go ahead and get this sold off and see what kind of payday we get for 200,000 liters of spinach. And there it is. We are now topped off. I'm going to go ahead and jump back in here and get the worker going. As you can see, it has been 2 hours real time, and we're still not done. We have a long ways to go yet. So we'll take a look at prices here. It's looking like the preserved food factory is probably going to be the easiest here. So we will head back over there and get this unloaded. All right, we're here at the preserved food factory. We'll go ahead and get this unloaded. And I tell you what, this has been a revelation. I thought spinach would be bad, but I didn't think it was going to be this horrible to do. So this will definitely be the last time I ever do spinach. And I cannot wait to get switched back over to something a lot better and a lot easier. All right, so that gave us 132,000. That's not a great payout for the amount of time we've put into this. So, even though you can double up on the spinach, the time it's taking, the resources it takes, I mean, I bet I've spent a couple $1,000s just in wages on the worker to run the harvester. So, I think for sure we're going to go to grass. We're going to do some silage, get that quick payday. As most everybody knows, at least in 22, FS22, silage was kind of a cheat code. So I didn't really want to do that here starting out, but I've kind of got myself into a bit of a pickle. I know it shows that we have $317,000 right now. However, we have nothing for grassland. We don't have a seeder, we don't have a mower, nothing. We're going to need more tractors. So that 317,000 is not going to last very long. But with it being June, if I can get 2 cuttings of grass off this field this year, and then we can switch back to doing crop, whether it be soybeans again, doing sunflowers, sorghum, whatever it is, we'll move on to that. And I'll have to check prices, see what we can come up with in the used vehicle section over the next couple of months. So far, it has been terrible. I've had one tractor come through, and that's it. So I don't think I'm going to be able to depend on the used vehicle section, but we'll see. So we'll go ahead, we'll get this field hammered out, and I will see you guys when we get finished. All right, this spinach harvest is officially finished. We're going to pull up here, get the last of this spinach off the machine. Oop, got to fire it up. And we'll go ahead and get the spinach sold, get this machine returned, and move on to our next plan. So we'll go ahead and come up here to vehicles and get that returned. All right, so spinach is looking like the farmer's market is where I'm going to take this load. So we've got 65,500 liters. We'll run this down to the farmer's market, get the last the money off the spinach, and then we will start prepping for getting grass planted and figuring out what baler I want, what windrower, and all that good stuff, and possible tractor upgrades that I've been talking about for like 7 episodes. So yeah, we'll get this taken care of. All right, we're here at the farmer's market. We'll go ahead and get this dumped off. All right, that gave us another 43,000 in income. So we'll head back to the home place and start hashing out a plan for what we're going to do next. All right, we're back here at the home place, and like I said, we're going to switch over to grass for the rest of this year, and we'll figure out what to do in the spring for our next crop. But I think we're going to go ahead and call this an episode. So if you like the content, make sure you like, sub, and leave a comment, and we will see you guys in the next one.